Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 70 of the J Situation podcast. I'm recording this on July 13th, 2021. Goodness gracious, how you folks doing? I'm doing well. It's super busy around here, I tell you what. But you know what's really good when you're really busy? Driving your car. I tell you what, most of the time I drive my truck because trucks are awesome. You can go anywhere in a truck, and it's just a lot of utility in a truck, But I also drive a car. I drive a Corvette, and I really like it a lot. I do. I've had it for a long time, and it's pretty dang fast. It's not the fastest car, of course. There's a lot of cars that are faster than a Corvette. But it's faster than most cars. And I tell you what, it is amazing to drive, and it's beautiful. It's charcoal gray metallic. It's a late model Z51 with the LS3 engine, 6-speed manual transmission. It's a C6 for you Corvette guys, So, for you non-Corvette guys, it's not a C8 like the latest Vets, the one with the engine behind you. And it's not a C7, which comes before that. It's a C6, so it's I guess 2 generations before the current one. And you had the C4. The C4 was like the boxy one, that went up through the mid 90s, and then it had the cool the crazy ZR1. C4 was just it was a really a really crazy Corvette, a very famous ZR1. Was in the C4 generation. And then the C5, it got all curvy again, right? Because, you weren't curvy since the C3. The C4 came out, it was all boxy. Then C5 came out, you got those curves back, those really sexy car body panels, looks really great. And I tell you what, the C5 was really mean. Like a C5 Z06, that's a mean car, man. That car feels like a race car. If you've ever driven a C5 Z06, it's very raw. It's a very raw car, and it's not that other Corvettes aren't. It's that particular generation. It didn't have an option for removing the top in the Z06 for the C5. And it was just it's just really low to the ground, really fast, really light. It was very unforgiving. It had a lot of creaks and rattles, a lot like a race car does. It just really, it wasn't a race car, but you got to the race car feel, I thought, in the C5 Z06. And then whenever you got to the C6, which was the generation after that, that's basically, they took a C5 and they refined it. So, that's what they did. Chevy took everything that was awesome about the C5 generation Corvette, and they added improvements to create the C6. And if you're a Corvette guy, you know what I'm talking about, because really there are a lot of differences between the C5 and C6 generation, but I always see those differences as incremental when you compare them. It wasn't a complete reinvention like the C4 to C5 was, or like the C6 to C7 was. The C5 to C6, I think, was one of the best examples of generational refinement in automobile history for a sports car. And I think because of that, the C6 stands on its own as an important piece of Corvette history. I don't know. It just sounded like I'm narrating a story or something. That was kind of weird. I'm serious though. By the time you got the LS3 engine in the C6, you basically had one of the most refined pieces of sports car technology on the planet. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. So yeah, that's my car. It's wild. It has some modifications. It's very loud. My car's very loud. I should post a video for you sometime. So yeah. So when I'm stressed or busy and I get to drive my car, it's a treat. Because oftentimes you forget how stressed you are when you get behind the wheel of a Corvette. You know what I'm saying? A Corvette is not a muscle car, okay? It's not a big and powerful sports sedan like a Mustang or a Camaro or what's the Dodge equivalent? Well, there's no Dodge equivalent. Maybe like a Charger or something, or whatever they call those. It's a true sports car. Okay, so it's like, the analogs, for example, for a Dodge analog would be like the Dodge Viper, which is like an insane car, but it's definitely a sports car. Ford has, I guess they have now, Ford has those Shelby Mustangs, and one of my buddies has a GT350 Shelby, it's very nice, and they turned the Mustang into a race car. It has a flat plane crank V8 engine. It sounds amazing. It's a good car, but and don't get me wrong, it's fast, it's capable, it's awesome, but it's not. It just doesn't feel. It doesn't feel like a true sports car, which is no back seat, super low to the ground, super low drag coefficient, more power than is reasonable for the weight of the car. Which I guess the Mustang actually does have more power than is reasonable. You actually don't even have enough tire on the Shelby to get. That car doesn't have enough tire. It's that powerful. But I will say, the Corvette, it's unreasonably fast for how light it is, or rather, it has an unreasonable amount of power for how light it is, and that's why it's so fast. You can really be irresponsible in the car, and I am, frankly. It's been great weather the past few days to really wind it out. I'm talking the car has to breathe. These cars, they're not. First of all, it's naturally aspirated, so it's all engine. Okay, there's no turbo on here. There's no supercharger. So this is all engine. It does have the stock cam in it, but I have headers directly off the engine with no catalytic converters, and it goes right to the mufflers, which I have, which I modified, so I can control the mufflers. I wired an apparatus using a vacuum pump. It's a whole thing. I'll have to show you what I did, but basically I have a switch under my dash, right? So I can, when my system is off, the car's loud. When I flip this switch on, it closes these valves and it creates a bypass so that the exhaust gases flow through the mufflers. So it makes it quiet. When I'm passing a cop, or like when I'm passing when I'm getting up early in the morning, leaving the neighborhood, so I don't wake up everyone's kids, or you know what I mean. So think about it like a silencer. It's like my Corvette silencers. I turn my silencers on and off. It's a switch. Speaking of silencers, when is this guy going to talk about? I thought this guy was the silencer guy. The J Situation podcast is proudly sponsored by Silencer Shop, the most efficient and intelligent way to purchase silencers. As a silencer consumer, Silencer Shop is not only my dealer of choice, but my infrastructure of choice. They've done a lot of cool stuff. They have. They created an easy system to minimize the likelihood of error in your paperwork. All that paperwork that you work so hard on. Actually, you don't, because Silencer Shop does that for you through the kiosk. That's right. It's all automated. It's awesome. There's a QR code that pops out on the Form 4 that's generated through their system. The ATF scans it. They make sure that there's no typos when they fat finger in. That's how, back in the day when we as NFA people wanted to get our short barrel shotguns, that was a really common NFA item back in the day. You're like, I want to saw this barrel off, but I need a stamp. Fam, okay, and so you get your forms, you fill them out, you make a copy, you take a picture, you do whatever you need to do to prove that you did it. You put it in the envelope. You're like, oh man, I hope this is right. Put it in your typewriter. How old is he? And yeah, you used to do that, and there could be transcription errors because it get mailed to the ATF, and then they have the examiner would have to input it by hand. You don't have to do that with ScienceShop. They scan a little code. They got multiple shifts working every day on these forms, guys. Like, ScienceShop has created a problem for the ATF. Trust me. But it's awesome, right? That they've done that and made it more efficient. And that's the reason ScienceShop has grown. They've continued to innovate. So that's great. They have a network of dealers nationwide where silencers are legal. You can use their kiosk. You do your fingerprints on it there. The photos, the photo goes in there electronically. It's all encrypted and safe for you. Cuts down on paperwork errors. It simplifies your silencer purchasing process. Money back guarantee. It's great. No transfer fees, no paperwork errors. Just you and your silencer with no drama. It truly is silencer ownership simplified. It is. I wouldn't say it if it was not true. And most importantly, this podcast is brought to you by PEW Science, pushing the silencer industry forward, kicking and screaming, bit by bit, dragged through the doorways, one test at a time. Visit pewscience.com for the suppression rating, the simplest and most accurate hearing safe ratings for your suppressed small arms. Every suppression rating, all suppression ratings, are based on true human sound perception. The suppression rating is in section 5 of the Silencer Sound Standard. The standard walks you through gunshot noise, sort of like Wikipedia, but it's cooler because it's about silencer sound, to tell you what. It is. There are 7 parts. They're all on pewscience.com for you to read. If you have not seen it, if you have not seen the Silencer Sound Standard, that's fine. I don't hold that against you. You can, if you go to the website there, you can skip directly to the suppression rating in section 5 of the standard. That is a pretty good place to start because it lets you know how silencers stack up in comparison to one another with regard to the sound at the muzzle and at the shooter's ear. And it's tied to a hearing safe dose limit for the particular platforms on which the silencers are tested. Okay, it's directly tied to human perception. If the rating is higher, chances are the total suppressed weapon system will sound better. If it's lower, it will probably sound harsher or louder. Okay, that's it's based upon the 95th percentile human ear. So chances are, if you're a human, which you most likely are listening to this, it will correlate with your hearing response. Yeah. In other words, it will correlate with your perception, what you hear, that's right, you will hear. And so that's all there is to it. You're not going to find this information anywhere else in the world. This is unique to PEW Science. The 6th section of the standard does have very detailed reviews. You can go check them out on pewscience.com. And I realize they are very in-depth, and that's fine. If you say, Jay, all those combustion dynamics and back pressure parameters, and frankly, that's a little too much gobbledygook for me, Jay. So you know what? I got you, fam. No problem. PEW Science rankings, section 7. Table, sortable. All the suppression ratings at muzzle and ear composite. And guess what? If you see something you like in there, after looking at that summary table to see what the quietest silencer is, you just click on the link right in the table. There's links in the table on every row. There's links in every entry there, so you can go back, and that'll take you to the detailed stuff if you want to examine it further. Okay. So yeah, that's there for you, all for you. As always, if you are a manufacturer and you would like to use PEW Science for private testing and consulting services, there is a form on the website with which you can submit that inquiry. Your contact information and all test data will be held in strict confidence. It will. Unless, of course, you want to release it to the public. You say, Jay, I really like this data you generated. Can you publish this? I say, of course I can. You're the boss. And then I do. You'll see some more of those later. We've done that a couple times. For some of our test programs have been published. Many have not. Many of our test programs have not been published, and that is the decision of the manufacturer who contracted with us for testing. That's how that works. And you'll see some every once in a while. Every once in a while, you'll see me publish something that someone wants to. That is definitely in the cards. You can support this podcast, so you can support PEW Science, and you can support our testing by joining with a membership at pewscience.com. And you can rate this podcast 5 stars on iTunes, or you can subscribe, like, follow, whatever. That all helps. If you subscribe and like and follow the podcast and stuff, it really does help. It lets folks know that silencers and guns are awesome, because what it does is it tells the publishing authority that there's traffic and engagement in the publication. So, for example, iTunes or other networks that read this RSS feed, they'll be like, whoa, people follow that. Maybe guns are cool. Maybe we should all have silencers. I'm like, dude, I know. That's what I was saying. It's like, come on. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, if you would, it'll help me. It'll help you. If you can't tell by now, I play the long game. So let's play the long game together. Okay, and you know what? I just looked at my show notes. I'm going to take out a topic because I don't want to talk about that today. Oh my God, you're witnessing this in real time. Save that file. Boom. Okay, 3 topics for you today. I got 3 topics. What, you thought you were going to get more? Don't worry, it'll be long. First topic, multi-use silencers. Usually they suck, or they can, but also they don't have to necessarily. Yeah. Which use cases are smart to combine for silencers? And how much is too much? Let's talk. I was thinking about this, so I decided, you know what? I think I'm going to talk about that today. We're going to see how far we get. Okay. Topic 2, new sound signature review coming this week. That's right. Are you ready? Any guesses? Send me your guesses. No, don't send me. I mean, I don't care. You can guess. Topic 3, welcome to all the new PEW Science members. We got doctors. We got scientists. We got students. We got law enforcement officers. We have manufacturers. All family. I mean, where would you be without family? Thank you all for your support. There's a meme somewhere in there. Okay. Let me get a drink of water. 1 second. All right, topic 1, at a time of 17 minutes and 32 seconds. Okay, that was a really long intro, but I talked about my car in the beginning. I talked about my car, and you know what? I bet there's people that skip to the topic without listening to the first part. Oh my God, he talked about his car? Maybe I have to go back. See, that'll teach you. Try to skip the ad for Silencer Shop in PEW Science. I'm on to you. I don't care what you do. I really don't. Topic 1, multi-use silencers. Usually they suck, but they don't have to suck as much. Which use cases are smart to combine, and how much is too much? Okay? You know, there comes a time in every silencer owner's life when they realize they need to buy multiple silencers. Sometimes a silencer for every gun. But this point does not come early for many individuals, okay? And sometimes it doesn't come at all. I was thinking the other day, it would be cool if I could share my opinion on this for you, because I think that a lot of folks listening to this are new silencer owners. Someone shared a statistic with me a while back. It was a statistic from the analytics of a pretty big industry party. And one part of that statistic is that most silencer purchases are by new silencer owners. Meaning that people who didn't have silencers before. It was their first silencer. So most silencer purchases are by folks that haven't owned one before in a given time period. Okay. I find that to be very interesting. It's when I say it, it sounds like, okay, that could be maybe true. But when I first heard it, I was like, really? I was like, that's interesting. And it does, it's probably indicative of a growth of a market or something. I don't know. It's probably humans are really complicated. But yeah, it does make sense. And when you think about it, yeah, I think it does highlight the potential for folks to be new to silencers in general more often than not when they're listening to this podcast or when when they become engaged with silencers. So chances are, when you're talking about silencers with somebody, chances are they're going to be new to them. If you want to play a numbers game, and that's a really important thing to know. So I've said it before, I'm the type of person that wants a silencer for every gun. I guess, and the other people that say that, say so because they want to get the point across of get something that does the one thing well. Get something purposeful for your application, purpose built. I really like that. And I think it helps us because we end up not compromising. We get the best bang, I was going to say best bang for the buck. That's not true. We get the best thing for the task, But what if there are products that could be the best in multiple cartridges and for multiple weapons? Like, what if there were some silencers that one could actually buy two of if two guns were going to be used simultaneously? Like, okay, let me repeat that. Like, duplicate the silencer for two different weapon systems because the silencer was that good on multiple platforms. You feel me? Like, are there silencers that exist like that? Are there? Like, that are so good you would buy two of them because you're going to have two guns used simultaneously, and you're like, and they're different guns, like completely different. And you're like, no, I'm going to buy two of these. They're so good. Excuse me. I think we are getting to the point where that is not out of the realm of possibility. When considering the PEW Science data set, holistically, if you consider what I've published for you holistically, this is not out of the realm of possibility. And that, my friends, is a really big deal because silencers are not cheap. There's a long wait. And frankly, if we can really use one silencer for multiple applications, the practical answer to that is yes, the normal consumer will probably do such a thing. Okay, but I think it needs careful consideration. I think you have to do it intelligently, okay? So and I thought about this point. So let's go back in history a little bit because I want to talk about prior consumer habits and some parallels to today. Okay, so a little bit of history for you. It used to be that what I'm talking about was very common practice. Folks would buy the best, or the silencer that was perceived to be the best. They would wait their 3 months or whatever the Form 4 took, because the Form 4s they weren't always super long. Like, I remember they were usually like around anywhere between 3 to 6 months. 6 months was way long. Like, that was rare. It was like 3 months, or so. And then they'd use those 3 months to buy hosts. They'd be buying their host weapons. And Form 4s, they used to come back even faster than that. I mean, I guess it just depends how old you are when you got into the NFA game. But yeah, you'd use your wait time to start cultivating hosts. Like, when you had a silencer pending and you knew the silencer was awesome because, like, you heard it being shot by somebody, or like someone you respected told you, and they were on the up and up, and you're like, dude, the silencer's so awesome. It's supposed to be the quietest one. I'm so psyched about this. You'd be continuously acquiring hosts so that as soon as you got your tax stamp back in the mail, or your dealer did, you would hit the ground running. If you were a silencer nerd 10 or 15 years ago, that's what you did. Literally, silencer first, host second. Like, if you were into silencers, that's what people did. And I'm telling you, a lot of people are like this. Not everyone, but a lot of people. As soon as you knew which silencers were awesome, you'd see what mounts you could get. You'd start shopping for hosts on which to put the mounts. It didn't matter if you had the guns. You're like, yeah. People would just start buying MP5s and Uzis and ARs. They're like, dude, I don't have an AR, but like, this new silencer came out and I need an AR for this. Like, it was totally backward. Like, they're like, dude, I totally need a gun for the silencer. Like, that's how people would talk. because it was the glory days of silencer advancement. New silencers were coming out, and you were like, oh my God, this is awesome. I cannot wait to use the silencer. It wasn't about the guns at all. It was about the silencers. And that, my friends, is when sound mattered. Okay? Let that sink in. That is when sound mattered. It was the glory days. Well into the sound wars of silencers. The true silencer wars, when sound was king. Newsflash, sound has always been king to silencer users, always. It's just that the companies changed the narrative. They changed the narrative. Okay, so, and if this is coming to a shock to you, as a shock to you, well, keep listening. Because I'm probably going to make a lot of people mad. No, that's not true. I'm not trying to be controversial here. I'm just trying to tell you the truth. Now, where are we? Where are we now? Well, you got what do you got? You got handgun silencers. Centerfire hand. You got pistol silencers. You got rimfire silencers. You got centerfire silencers. Centerfire rifle silencers. You got big bore silencers. You got shotgun silencers. Any other stuff I'm forgetting? There are. I'm probably forgetting something. Now, in these categories, you may be tempted to overlap a silencer to cover different ones, right? It's reasonable. Seems reasonable. You're shooting projectiles. You say, I can thread this to that and adapt this to this, and why not? You may think, let's find something to do a handgun and a rifle, or rimfire and handgun, or centerfire rifle and big bore. You may be tempted to hop across categories like that. It's natural. It's natural if you want to do that. That type of hopping, actually, I would actually discourage, except in very limited cases. One example of where such hopping would make sense is if for some reason you're doing some kind of strange rimfire host, for example. Picture this: some strange rimfire host, and you could use a very large silencer because of the platform, or for like aesthetics or something. Like think of an AR, or some strange full-size gun with a rimfire kit. Like machine guns too. Maybe you use a pistol silencer, like a centerfire pistol silencer that can be disassembled for cleaning for that rimfire host. Fine, I get it. Like that's an extreme crossover where you take something not intended for rimfire, but you put it on a rimfire. But in this case, it makes sense. That's reasonable. It's like, let's say you have a, I don't know, I have a submachine, like one of my machine guns. It's a submachine gun. It's a M11-9. I have a rimfire kit for it. I can put a 9mm silencer on it. That's you can take apart for cleaning. I can do mag dump after mag dump with 22. It's going to fill up slower than like a smaller 22 would fill up with debris. Maybe that's more reasonable because maybe it has steel baffles. I take the baffles out. I put them in a tumbler. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? So it's like that would be an intelligent use case selection. Okay. But all in all, those categories, the centerfire pistol, rimfire, centerfire rifle, big bore, you probably shouldn't overlap them. Why? Well, why would I say something like that? Well, if a silencer, here's a thought. If a silencer is light enough, or it's bored large enough to go on your 9mm handgun, why on earth would you think it would be the best performer on a rifle? I mean, could it possibly do okay? Absolutely could. There are totally outliers. There's always outliers. There's always exceptions. There's always things that do good enough, right? There's always a good enough. But what are you trying to do? Are you trying to be the best? Well, you want to be the best or you don't? Okay, well, if you want to be the best at something, well, you got to be specialized a little bit, yeah? So, frankly, what I recommend doing when trying to maximize silencer utility is to find uses within categories, which is it's a nuance. It's different than what we were talking about, right? Because you got to know the categories I listed earlier, that list have subcategories. Okay, so what did I list? I listed centerfire handgun, rimfire, centerfire rifle, big bore shotgun. Okay, so those all have categories, subcategories inside them, right? So think about it. You have, for centerfire pistol, you have 9mm, 45, 40, if you're weird and you shoot 40, 10mm. All you Colt Delta Elite guys on your Glock 20, whatever. Really? I mean, I guess if you're going to shoot 40, you might as well shoot 10mm. I mean, it's if you're going to be a man, shoot 10mm, be a man. It's like that guy. So there's that, right? And then rimfire, you got pistol and rifle, completely different. Actually, can be. A lot of people don't realize that. This is so very different when you change barrel length. And then why is that? Well, we can talk about that later. I can do a whole episode on that. Then you got centerfire rifle. Boy, howdy. So many cartridges on centerfire rifle. 22 to 50. You got 300 Win Mag. I mean, oh my God. Like, and everything in between. And then you got big bore, weird stuff, like 458 SOCOM. Like, doesn't even, like, who even shoots that? Like 50 calibers. Like, what? What is that? Like 338? I guess you could call that. I don't know. I don't know what people call big bore, but it's bigger than 30 caliber. And it's a rifle. So 338, which is going to be, I predict, very popular. Considering, Q is going to market the heck out of 8.6 Blackout, which is 338 caliber. So the 338 silencer is going to pop up. I mean, Silencer Co. already has their own Omega 36M or whatever it is. CGS has the Hecate. What else is there? Thunder Beast has one. I guess most silencer companies have a 338 or 338 equivalent. So that's coming. So yeah. So like today, what did I want to do today? First I wanted to set the stage. I know a lot of you folks, silencers are old hat to you, and you're like, Jay, this is so boring because I already know this. I'm like that. Well, maybe this isn't for you, this topic. Not every episode can be great for you. But what I'm saying is, like, I wanted to set the stage because I want you guys to know. I want you guys to think about what I'm going to say in context. Because I think context makes things mean more. Because I think it becomes more relatable. At least that's my theory. Okay, let me get some water. Okay. So, today what I wanted to do, I wanted to show one silencer. Only one silencer that I think can hit a few of the categories. Okay? For me. Currently. Okay, this is not PEW Science telling you. I mean, I guess there's going to be some PEW Science in it because I use my own data. Okay, I'm a junkie and I use my own supply. That sounds weird. I can't deny the data. I mean, what if I didn't use my own data? Wouldn't that be weird? So I putting the silencer in the photo for today's episode, and I put two guns in the photo onto which the silencer is being used by me for a specific purpose. Okay? And that silencer is the CGS Helios QD. Okay, it's the titanium version now. Okay, so that's not available for purchase. So you don't go looking, oh man, I want to buy this too. You can't. I think it's coming out this year. I don't know. You'd have to ask CGS. They're the guys who make it. It's just like the steel version. The test data is all on pewscience.com. It's just like that. It's 3D printed, just like the steel version, except it's titanium. So it's like way lighter. You know what I mean? So yeah. Excuse me. And now I know that sucks. And that you're blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, yeah, everyone has a sob story, but it doesn't, it doesn't matter. The silencer itself, it doesn't matter. What matters is my thought process. And I want to get you thinking about things that might matter to you and might not matter to you. Okay, because I feel like if we go through this exercise together of what I do when I select a silencer, you might find some parallels for your own use, or you might think, oh, well, Jay's not even thinking about XYZ. If he had, maybe he would have selected ABC. And that's great because I want you to think. Like the whole point of this, like the whole point of my entire effort is education and thinking and like getting people to understand what they're looking at so no one can fool you. I want to protect you. Okay? I want the best for you. So that's what we're going to do. Okay? We're going to arm you so you can protect yourself. Okay? All right. I was thinking to protect yourself. I was thinking, I watched the UFC. What do they say? They say, protect yourself at all times. Obey my instructions. Touch gloves. Like, it's like right before. I can't remember everything the ref says, but I love that sport. You see Conor McGregor get his ankle broken. A lot of people say he didn't win. Or I'm sorry, a lot of people say Dustin didn't win because it was a doctor stoppage because Conor broke his leg. I think that's stupid because Conor got a kick checked with Dustin's elbow, and Conor's leg broke because Dustin checked the kick with his elbow. I mean, you can see it. There's like screenshots of it, dude. It's like blatant. So Conor definitely lost that fight. And if you have a contrary opinion, tech at PEWScience.com. Okay, so back to the silencers. Things that matter to me might not matter to you. Okay? Remember, this is my list, and this is a thought process. Okay, so this is a template for you. You don't have to use my template. You don't have to take this out of context. Okay, this is a learning exercise. So for me, over the years, my list, the top of my list is sound because of what I know about silencers. It's not the top of the list for everybody, and that's okay. But as you really start to understand silencers, it will be. And it's not just sound as sound is sound, like just sound only. It's in context because length and sound are on the top of my list. Sometimes length is at the top, sometimes sound is. Because I'm using the silencers. So really my list is length, sound, accuracy, quality, weight, durability, mounting, and customer service. Okay? So length. How much length does the silencer add to my gun? What does that do to the weapon? It's going to increase a moment arm away from me. It's going to feel weird. It's going to change the balance on the gun. It's going to make me go through doorways differently. It's going to put it in the pack differently if I'm not taking off the gun for storage or transport. What is length doing? What is it doing? What is the length doing to the weapon's system? Sound. How much is it attenuating the sound signature for people or observers or animals in my area of operations, around me, and for me, the shooter, the guy who needs secondary hearing protection to protect his hearing? How much is it helping me? How advanced is the technology? What is the suppression rating on the weapon system? Accuracy. If I know my gun is accurate and I put this silencer on it, is it going to make my gun less accurate? Forget about point of impact shift. Forget it. You're going to shift your point of impact due to mass. Okay, every barrel harmonic in every system is different. So forget about that. I don't even think about point of impact shift. I think about accuracy. I think about, does this silencer make my gun less accurate? I'm gonna sight in my gun with the silencer on it. I'm gonna zero my gun. I'm gonna zero my optic or my sights with the silencer on it. Okay, if it's a rifle. So, is my silencer gonna make my groups open up? Is it going to move me off target so much that I can't even zero my scope? Quality. Is this silencer does it have a good fit and finish? Does it have rough edges? Is this going to cut my fingers when I tighten something? Is it uncomfortable? Is it going to rust? Is the paint just going to flake off like in my gun bag? Is it going to rattle? Is it going to become loose easily? How's it made? Is it quality? Is it a quality product? Is it aligned? How's the mechanical integrity? How's the fit and finish? How is the quality? Okay, weight. Weight's important. Why? Well, that goes back to the first thing on my list, length. Okay? Weight matters, especially when it's on the end of a gun. Okay? What's a moment? It's a torque, right? So it's a force times a distance. Well, what's weight? Well, weight's a force. It goes down toward the ground in the direction of gravity, right? Well, if you have a 2-pound silencer on the end of a 20-inch barrel gun, that affects handling. If you cut the weight of that silencer by 75%, that's a different day for you operating that gun. Now, if you're going to sit and it's a bench rest gun and all you're doing is taking that gun from the back of your SUV to your shooting bench, shooting 100 shots, and then going back to your SUV and then going home, well then, I don't care how much that silencer weighs, and neither do you. Put a 5-pound silencer in your gun. Who cares? All you're doing is walking from the parking lot to the shooting bench. But if you're going to go hunt elk with it and you're going to hike miles up a mountain, you're probably going to want something titanium, or at the very least, something small in steel. So, you know what I mean, Jelly Bean? So weight's important. A lot of people think, oh, well, weight doesn't, you just need to suck it up. I'm like, okay, relax. You don't know what good is. So if you don't have any other options, then the option you have might be the best. So relax, but if you're educated in the subject and you know what's out there and you've handled them, well, then you can know the difference. And I can tell you what, the CGS Helios QD that's in Canal and the CGS Helios QD that's titanium on the end of my 11.5-inch machine gun is different, bro. It's different. Not a little bit different. It feels like a different weapon. And if you don't agree, well then, awesome. But you know what? If the titanium version didn't exist, I'd still use the Inconel because it's freaking awesome. Okay? But if I had a choice, I want to go with the one that's meeting the thing on my list. Okay, what's next? Durability. Durability is important. Why is durability important? Well, most of you are waiting a long time for the silencers and you don't like to break them easily. Frankly, for me, and remember this is my list, durability is important for me because I own automatic weapons. Okay, so that's an easy thing to say because it's true, and you see me, I shoot mag dumps. I'm ridiculous. But also, you should know, and this is very important for people to know. Some people don't understand it. Sustained semi-automatic use can get a silencer hotter than some full auto use, and the reason is because it's temperature cycling and the rate at which the heating is taking place and the rate at which the cooling is taking place. So it's heat transfer. And when you fire a round a second through a silencer, you're gonna heat soak, and it's not like this heat goes away quickly. So it's sustained temperature is one thing. Then continuing to put the silencer under load and then shooting hot plasma through it, well, that's another thing. So when it's already up to temperature and you're damaging it more and more, that's when the rubber starts to meet the road, and you're like, well, what is the silencer going to do? And a good way to see a good feel for silencer durability is watch for the AR-15 platform. Watch those folks that do carbine courses. Like they go take the classes where they're shooting a lot of rounds and it's like outside and there's not a lot of like downtime and they're shooting like 1,000 rounds or whatever it is. And they're doing it with like repeated, like, if you see silencers like after that look like they're dying inside, it's probably bad. But, most good quality silencers nowadays are fairly durable, and even this CGS Helios QD Ti, it's not even out yet. It's not even an official product, but it is real, and I've used it, and I haven't messed it up yet, and I've been mag dumping. So like I haven't put it through tons of abuse, but I put several hundred rounds. How many hundreds of rounds? Several hundred rounds. Full auto, and then pretty heavy semi-auto, few days doing slow fire at targets and stuff, and that's not even with a brake or anything. It's just direct thread. So I've been hammering it. From what I know, there's folks using that thing with a brake, and they're really shooting a lot through it. So that's, for me, it meets my durability requirement for the current use cases, and we'll talk about my use cases in a second. And then mounting, that's a list for me, and the mounting is important. When I say mounting, it's like, well, how is it going to mount to my weapon, and am I okay with it? And if the only mount it can use sucks, or then I don't necessarily like it, and it can be a detriment for me. It can be something that takes me away. Nowadays, a lot of silencers, like especially rifle silencers, are pretty adaptable. Some aren't, some are. So that's the thing. So, Helios QD met my mounting requirements. Obviously, it's the QD version, so it can take whatever mount. But, tell you what, I've been using direct thread on every gun with this thing. I still haven't found a universal mount that I want to use with this. And then finally on my list is customer service. And this, the Forum 1 guys, and hey, shout out to the Forum 1 community. Joseph, if you're listening, I know you're busy, bud. You might not be listening. He used to run this website. It's like Forum 1 Forum or so. I don't remember the URL. He started up his website again. I guess he used some kind of free forum software, and they booted him. They deleted his forums because I don't think he owned the domain or something. That sucks. And this sucks because I can't remember. Oh man, I should do that right now. Shoot. You know what? I'm gonna do this real time. I feel bad because I need to give him a plug. I just went to Instagram. Let me see if I can find him. He's Silencer Student on Instagram. Silencer Student, all one word, and then he has underscore. So it's Silencer Student, all one word, underscore. He's a good guy. He really is. He has a website, and of course, he has his Patreon on his freaking Joseph. Hold on. I'm clicking on it. Let me see if it has a link to his website. Bro, you got to put your website in here. Oh my God. Hold on. I know I'm derailing the podcast, but he's such a great guy. Okay, new site in the works. I'm scrolling through his post history. Okay, forum1.org. I found it. Okay, now I'm going to go, and I registered there. Let me open the web browser because I need to make sure it's still operational so I don't tell you guys wrong. Forum1.org. Yes, it is awesome. And I think I feel like you know what? I feel like I feel like I registered for it, but now I can't remember. I'm trying to log in. Oh, fuck. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to close it. But forum1.org is where it is. I'll have to check and see if I made an account. I thought I had posted. I thought I had made an account. But yeah, so I was going to say, these Forum 1 guys, and bless their hearts, a lot of them don't really think about customer service because they're making their own silencers. And, you know, I get it. I'm definitely a tinkerer and someone who builds his own stuff in general. You know, I love to see how things work. I love to, figure that out. I get it. I do. But customer service is really important. It is. Okay. And something's going to go wrong, especially when you shoot a lot of guns, especially when you shoot a lot of silencers. I promise you're going to have a problem. You're putting a dynamic pressure vessel on the end of a threaded apparatus and you're sending combustion through it. This is not, and you waited a long time for it and you paid a $200 tax. The wait, it's the opportunity cost, guys. Okay. Like it's the wait time. Like if you were an SOT or you were just like getting silencers without the weight, it wouldn't matter that much. And maybe that's why the Formula 1 guys don't care as much, because they're just like, well, we're just going to make a new silencer because whatever. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I get it. Yeah, so there's that. But, their silencers aren't going to be as good as commercial silencers, probably, unless they're like a 22 silencer. So yeah. Yeah, customer service is on my list, and I'm a believer in it. Remember, this is my list. So length, sound, accuracy, quality, weight, durability, mounting, customer service. That's my list, and that's my list. Now, flash, you notice I'm omitting flash from the list. It's not on this list right now necessarily because for my use cases, with the data I have now, if sound is met, chances are the flash isn't going to be super insane. And okay, and you might be thinking, what are you talking about? It's like, well, and like, how do we know this, Jay? It's like, well, it's mass flow rate. That's how we know this. For a silencer to be super quiet, it can't have super duper flash, like, titanium notwithstanding. The chances are, statistically and just physically, chances are, if it's really quiet, it's going to have low flash. Okay? That's just the way physics works, because you need a certain threshold of mass flow rate to flash. And if you have a really, really quiet silencer, the mass flow rate is not going to be super, super high. It just from our current understanding of silencers, according to the research, that's my theory, and I think it's pretty accurate. And if you have a problem understanding that, or you have a disagreement and you would like to discuss outliers that you think are possible, please email me at tech@pewscience.com. We can talk about it. I'm happy to talk about it. Because there are some factors, but all other things equal, we can probably say that's true. So the two use cases that I put in the photo that I'm posting with this podcast are, okay, the first one is, it's my Q fix. It's not the mini fix. It's the full-size fix. It's a 16-inch 308 bolt gun. It has a Swarovski Z8i. It's like that scope. It's in a ScalarWorks mount. I finally got it level in there. That ScalarWorks it's the worst mount to level, but boy, is it a nice looking mount. I tell you what. And once you get it level and tight, it's super strong mount. You just getting it level sucks. It's fine. That is the most Gucci lightweight hunting rifle I've ever held, frankly, because I don't think the only I held Kevin's. He had a Z8 on his, but I don't think it was what's mine, the 2-16. I think his is his might, that might have been the same scope he has. I think he might have the smaller scope, but I know his is a Z8 like mine. But this gun, this gun is Gucci gun. That's a Gucci hunting rifle, frankly. It's so light. So what does that gun need? What does that gun need on its silencer wise? Well, it needs something quiet, first of all. I don't want to wear ears when I hunt, dude. Not when I'm hunting deer. I don't wear hearing protection when I'm hunting deer. No, I'm sorry. We are beyond. I have done it. And before, when I first started hunting deer, I didn't have silencers, and I wore my earmuffs, dude. Like straight up earmuffs, because I'm like, rifles are loud. I might shoot 1 or 2 shots a day when I deer hunt. I want absolute comfort. If I'm not gonna wear ears, which I'm probably not gonna do, although I'll carry a spare plug and put it in my right ear sometimes, but I'm telling you, when you're in the moment and you're here, you really want to listen for the game. I have put electronic hearing protection on and jacked it up so I could hear, but it just takes me out of it because it doesn't sound natural. So I do like going natural, and I like shooting without the hearing protection for hunting. 1 to 2 shots a day. So I want absolute comfort. I don't want to ring my ears. I don't want to dose myself horribly. I don't want to compromise my hearing more than it's already been compromised. If you've been a long time listener and you listen to my experience this past deer season with a Rugged Radiant on this gun versus the Hyperion K, you will see that the Hyperion K was the threshold of quiet for me. I do not want to go any louder than that. We bounded the problem. We bounded the problem with suppression rating. We figured out we have the 20-inch suppression rating for the Rugged Radiant, which I own. It's my personal silencer, and then we had the 20-inch rating for the Hyperion K. So we had this ear. We had the signature at the shooter's ear for both those silencers, and the Radiant was too loud, and the Hyperion K wasn't. So what did I do? I bounded my hearing response. Isn't that cool? We bounded the threat. I mean, there's actually a technical term for doing that. I don't want to get too far into this, but this is exactly this is why I created PEW Science. Okay, if you're not seeing it already, this is right. This stuff's correct, dude. Okay, that's how cool it is. And the Rugged Radiant hurt my ear, and the Hyperion K didn't. Okay, and so now I know the threshold for me, because guess what? I put them on the 16-inch fix, so it's 4 inches shorter. What does that do? It's moving it 4 inches closer to my ear, which is an exponential increase in sound pressure, and it is increasing the pressure that enters the silencer. So you're already handicapped because you have a shorter barrel. So when you shorten a bolt action barrel, you are doing a lot, dude. And if your silencer can't handle the high pressure, it's going to be a problem. Well, guess what can handle high pressure? You know what can handle high pressure? What have we learned over the past couple months when I've been speaking with you? What handles high pressure like a champ? Stagnation relief silencers. What relieves stagnation? Outer annulus. Venting to it. What does that? Hyperion technology. Original SWR Omega technology. Dead air Nomad technology. What else does? Well, there's some. Are they well known? Not as much as those. Not now. So, Hyperion K sings on high pressure. The Hyperion wants more pressure. The Nomad wants more pressure. Give it more. Give it as much pressure as you want. It'll take it. Okay? Found out. That's what I found that out. I found that I need something quiet with a fix. So now I'm going quieter. I'm using a Helios QDTI. It's quieter than the Hyperion K, dude. And it's light, like the Hyperion K. It's a little bigger. It's a little heavier. But it's still light. It's perfect, dude. It's perfect. It's great. I needed something light. I did. This gun is light for a reason. For walking with it far, when I need to, light. That's why I have that's why I bought it. I wanted a super light hunting rifle. I'm at that point in my life where I'm I can afford stuff. So that's why I bought it. Okay? And that means a light silencer too. If you have a light gun and you think a light silencer isn't cool for it, man, you need to think about where where the weight sits on the gun with a silencer, dude. Anything on the end of your gun has the longest moment arm with which to contribute to the weight you feel. Okay, silencer weight matters. And anyone who tells you it doesn't, well, maybe that's because it doesn't matter for their weapon. But get out of here with the fact it doesn't matter. That's not true. This gun needs something accurate. It's an accurate rifle, dude. It is. I need something that's precision made with minimum tolerance stack and a baffle geometry that doesn't induce weird yaw to the projectile. That's what I need. Okay, that's what the CGS silencers provide. They're accurate. I'm telling you, the CGS rifle silencers are accurate, dude. Like, I challenge you to find one that's not. Like, they're just, I don't know. Maybe it's the 3D printing. I mean, it's definitely the geometry. It's definitely the tolerances. Those things are just, they're on. They're good. It needs something. This gun needs something to be quality. I mean, it's a fix, dude. It's like the engineers who designed this gun are on their game. Like, they are. Like, have they gone through some improvements on the gun? Absolutely. I think all products go through improvements. So I'm a fan of the gun, and I think it's a quality gun and it needs a quality silencer. The mounting needed to be direct thread. Now, preferably taper to the Q barrel. You know, that 25-degree taper, that's what I want. That's my favorite. It's my favorite. It really is. And that's what you see in the photo. I got an adapter. There's this company called Liberty Precision Machine. Shout out to them. The adapter, the guy gave me some. He asked me if I wanted some. I said, yeah, you're going to give me something? Yeah, here's my address. So he sent me a couple. They're not perfect because let me back up. They're really well made. They're coated the machine is immaculate. They're coated really well. They're very high quality. But the design is not perfect for the CGS Helios QD, and the reason why is because it doesn't taper to the silencer like the CGS direct thread adapters do. It's okay. Now, the Helios QD has an internal taper for the rear mount, and I bet a lot of you guys didn't know that. Like when you look at the mount that Josh designed that's sitting there separately in the photo, I actually put it in the photo so you can see it if you zoom in. The one you see there, that's the half 28 mount for my 5.56 machine gun. But the part that actually interfaces with the silencer body has a taper. It's really, really slick. I want you to look at that because it's not normal. Other people aren't doing that with their direct thread mounts. Like you buy an energetic armament Vox and their direct thread mount that comes with that thing, when you look at the way the hole is like even threaded in it, or like that's a bad word. When you look at the way the hole is tapped, like there's not even thread relief, at least on the one I have. And I'm like, really? Like it's those little touches. You're like, okay, that, like maybe they didn't think anyone was going to use that mount or something, but I'm like, nah. When you look at the CGS direct thread mount, there's flash hider features on it if you want to take the silencer off. Did you see that? Isn't that weird? Yeah, I mean, there is. I mean, Josh did that. It has like wrench flats on it. It's high quality. It tapers to the silencer. And it's just a direct thread. It's a simple direct thread mount, but like he adds those little touches. Everything that CGS adds, I'm telling you, dude, these guys are so underground. They're not even big, and they're doing the craziest stuff. Okay, so there's that. And then I was going to say, and last on my list, I needed the silencer to be backed by a good company, and they're about as good as company as any other silencer company I've ever interacted with. So it checked all my boxes for this gun. All right. That's all the stuff it needs to do for the fixed rifle, and it does it all. Now, that's the first use case I have in the photo. And the second use case in the photo, 11.5-inch mid-length gas machine gun, 5.56, my baby. You hear me talk about it all the time. You see me shooting it all the time in my stories. It sits by my bed at night. I'm serious. I sent a picture to Bobby before I started recording this. We were talking, Bobby at CGS. We were talking about. I was like, yeah, man. It's like I sent him a picture of the gun. I was like, dude, this is like your silencer is sitting on this gun. I take this out in the field to protect myself and my guys. I take it. I have it in my house to protect me and my people in my house. I take it to the range to shoot. I use it to protect my ears when I shoot. The silencer goes everywhere that rifle goes. It lives on the rifle. It's direct thread, and that's why you see the silencer with no. The gun with a bare muzzle, because I took the silencer off to take the picture. It's not a staged photo. Like, I had to take the silencer off the gun because it lives on the gun. So there was nothing else on it. I was like, well, I'm not going to put anything else on it because I'm going to put, right after I take this picture, I'm going to put the silencer right back on the gun so I can put the gun back next to me so I can have it operational. So I don't have to go scrambling for the silencer when I need it. Like, I'm telling you, like, I'm not, like, you guys are going to learn, and if you haven't learned this already, I don't know, some of you, how long you've been listening to this podcast or following PEW Science, but if you're new to this, like, I don't sell silencers. And anything I tell you, it's not because I'm trying to sell you. I don't care what you buy. Like, throw it in the trash. Like, I don't care. Like, if no one ever bought another CGS silencer, like, I'd be fine. Trust me. It has nothing to do with me. Like, don't buy one. I don't know. Go buy an AAC silencer. Like, I don't care what you buy. I'm just saying, like, when I give you an opinion, it's from the heart. It is my opinion. And I needed something for this gun that can handle super high pressure. Okay, it's an 11.5-inch barrel M16. So it's 5.56, which is already a high pressure round. It's 11.5-inch barrel, which is like a little over half the barrel it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be a 20-inch barrel, right? But it's not. It's 11.5. You cut the barrel in half. What does that do? Well, the pressure goes up a lot. I need something that can handle it. And I don't mean just handle it like, oh, is it going to break? No. I don't mean that when I say handle. I mean handle. Perform with the high pressure. What silencer can do that? CGS Helios QD. Okay, some of you that haven't been listening for a long time, I keep saying that because I want to make sure you new folks are hearing me. When some of you just started listening to the podcast, sometimes you hop to the new episode. Let me know when you get to the episodes after I first tested the Helios. When I first tested the Helios QD, I mean, this is all record. This is all recorded. It's all permanent record. This is all people download the MP3s. This isn't going away. Like, this is a permanent record on the internet forever. What I'm saying is recorded and kept and archived. When I tested the CGS Helios QD on Supersonic 308, it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense given what I had tested previously. I had to test it 3 times to convince myself that my algorithm was correct. Because I didn't want to endanger. I heard it. I was like, yeah, it's quiet. I was like, and I didn't want to keep shooting it and listening and keep cumulatively damage my hearing every time I'm shooting it, right? So I'm like, well, I'm listening to it. I'm like, it sounds quiet. Okay. Then I looked at the peak pressure. I'm like, okay. I shot it again. It's like, okay, it sounds quiet. Look at the peak pressure. I'm like, okay. Like, it was going against a lot of the trends that we were seeing. And a lot of, and part of the reason why PEW Science has grown so much is because we're able to learn from our experimentation. And you got to remember, when I was developing everything, when I developed PewSoft, when I wrote the Silencer Sound Standard, and I made all of this framework, I spent over a year quietly doing this by myself with my own weapons, with my own silencers. And then I branched out. I started testing other people's stuff. I started doing testing with other industry parties side by side with their systems. All these folks, like there's some folks like in the industry, like, well, Jay, we don't know how his system compares to. It's like, no, we do. You know exactly how my system compares to other systems. You know why you know? Because you have my raw data on my website. So you know exactly what PewSoft does. And you know exactly what your system does. So don't play games with me. Okay? Everyone knows that PewSoft is right. Because the major parties in the industry have put it side by side theirs. So anytime someone wants to try to say some stuff, no. The truth is, the data's on my website, and no one else publishes their waveforms because they know that they don't want to be called out because they don't know what they're doing. Okay, so that's the real answer. So you got to remember, like, we went through this. I've been through the exercise already. Okay, and that was years ago, and we know a lot more now because of the research I published. We didn't know what we know now back then about how all the silencers worked. I mean, we know how silencers work, but we didn't know how all the different technologies differentiated themselves in the space physically with the gas dynamics. We didn't really understand everything. Now, the individual designers of the silencers knew. They knew how their silencers sounded, but there was no real data available anywhere. The silencer designers didn't have any data, but now there is data. Okay, so now what we hear with silencers like the CGS Helios QD is verified over and over and over and over again with PewSoft, and verified over and over and over again with consumers. Again and again. I get messages every day. Dude, I just got my Helios. It's so quiet. I'm like, I know. Isn't that cool? They're like, yeah, it is. They're like, man, thanks for like telling me about this. I'm like, no problem, bro. Like, I'm a silencer guy too. Like, I mean, remember, and some of you remember me say this. I spoke with Silencer Co. You know that company in Utah, Silencer Co. They came out with a Sparrow a long time ago. Their head of R&D, Josh Sinsinger. Haven't heard from him in a long time. If you're still out there, Josh, I hope you're okay. Hope you're doing well, sir. I mean, I spoke with him. He shot a CGS Helios. He told me about it. He told me how awesome he thought it was. Like, yeah, isn't it crazy? Like, we were just talking about silencers. Like, this was just dude to dude talking, like on the phone. And he was like, yeah, man, I shot a Helios and it was amazing. And I was like, we were very impressed with it. And I was like, isn't it though? I was like, I was very impressed too. I was like, for the size too, right? Like for the length. And he was like, yeah, for the length. It's just so quiet. I was like, I know. It was weird. I just think CGS did a really good job with it. So yeah. Like, so my first thing, I was like, everything that I said for the fix applies to this gun. But what did I need? I needed something high pressure. I need a high pressure silencer for sure. Okay, CGS Helios can do more than just high pressure, but when you give it high pressure, it's like, you know what? It's like the Corvette. It's like, what do you do with a sports car? You drive it, dude. You don't want to just, oh yeah, I'm just going like 2,000 to 3,000 RPM in my Corvette right now. Okay. Cool story, bro. Give me your car. You don't deserve your car. So yeah. Okay, and so what's the next thing besides sound? Light. Super light. This one's titanium. You don't have it? I do. Sorry. I mean, too bad, so sad. But you can use the Inconel version. I've used the Inconel version on the gun. Okay? It's fine. It's perfect. It does great. I could even put the Inconel version on the fix. It would be fine. It's quiet. But this 11.5-inch gun is so much more controllable with the huge weight savings. It really is. In my mind, it is. Okay? So that's another thing. And then I guess I skipped over the length. I did kind of mention the length. The length is great for this. The Helios DT is shorter. It's louder. It's a little better because every little bit counts, I guess, when you have a rifle. But I don't know, man. The silencer is not too long. It's not too long. Would I want to go much longer? No, probably not. Not for this gun and how I use this gun. I tell you what, I've used this gun a lot over the past month because I've done a lot of travel with it. I've had it with me everywhere. So I've had it, like, I've just dragging the gun around everywhere, and I like the footprint. It's just really, it's peas and carrots right now. Like that, the gun and the silencer are peas and carrots. It looks good. It functions. It's awesome, dude. It's accurate. Like, this, and that's another thing. This silencer is overboard. It's so overboard for, oh, that's a weird word to say, because I just realized that sounds the same as the word, like, if I'm throwing something overboard, but I don't mean like on a ship. I mean like it's bore size. It's bored. It's overboard for 5.56. It's, so like you can put it on a 30 caliber gun, but it's a 5.56 silencer. Okay, so it's accurate on a 30 caliber precision gun, like the Fix. So if it's accurate on a 30 caliber precision gun like the Fix, if you put a smaller cartridge through it, like 5.56, you bet it's going to be accurate on that. You understand? Okay, so it's like, because it's going to influence accuracy even less, because it's like hot dog through a hallway, as they say. So yeah, and then the other thing, it's super high quality, right? It's 3D printed, so it's going through a lot of crazy temperature cycles. I'm doing full auto mag dumps. It's an 11.5-inch gun, so it's not that far away from my face, right? So there is a risk of a dynamic pressure vessel incurring damage and hurting me, the user, because I'm not wearing a face shield. I mean, I'm wearing safety glasses when I shoot because, that's smart. But I'm wearing sunglasses that are like, that are safe, like that have a safety glass rating. But I'm not wearing a face shield. So if I take shrapnel, that's going to be a problem. I'm confident in it. I mean, the grain structure is such that we haven't seen anything to indicate that these silencers will fail under temperature cycling under high pressure, like for the designated use cases, for the intended designed use cases. These silencers don't seem to fail. Now, can you fail one? Yeah, for sure, dude. Anything can be broken. Is this titanium one going to be more durable than the Inconel version, or as durable as the Inconel version? Well, probably not, just based upon material properties alone. If the geometry is identical, right? So given the identical geometry, obviously the Inconel one is going to be more durable, but the question needs to become, do you even need the durability of the Inconel one? And chances are 99.9% of people don't, because the Inconel Helios QD is not normal. Inconel is one thing. The other thing is the way the Helios works. It doesn't get hot like other silencers get in the same regions for the same duration, because there's alien gravity reactors inside. So there's that. But the quality's there. Like when you hold, and I wish I had it in the room with me right now because I don't. It's in the other room, but the feel of it just. I hold a lot of silencers. I do. Like I tell you all the time, like I think the Surefire SOCOM 5.56 RC2 is like a really good feeling silencer. I like it because it's like smooth and it's like the black finish is nice. Like it's quality. Why do I think that about the Surefire silencer? Well, the machining seems to be good. The paint is good. The fit and finish is good. It feels high quality. Well, it is high quality because Surefire put a lot of attention to that, and their manufacturing facility is very stringent in quality control, so it shows. What are other good quality, like rugged? Rugged silencers have exceptional exceptional fit and finish. Rugged silencers are some of the best looking and feeling silencers in the game. Like bar none. Like when you get a rugged silencer, like when it's out of the package, you're like, wow, that's nice. It is, dude. And it's not only the machining. It's the way they do it. It's the finish quality. It's the way the design feels in your hand. It's so good. Something about it. Rugged just has a way about them. And I don't know if it's just Henry's eye for design or what, but for industrial design, I think he just has an eye for it. He's just really talented in that way. Not necessarily for silencer design per se, I think, like for the technology, but I think for the industrial design, it just looks really nice. And he's just done such a great job. And his machinists are really great, and their supply chain and quality control is really great. And I just think that rugged, that's another example. So so I don't want to seem like I'm just saying, oh no, CGS has the best quality ever. It's like, no, that's not true. Like, they have great quality. A lot of companies do. And what I'm trying to tell you is I know quality when I see it. So my opinion on it is not just like, I'm not just wowed by everything, because there's some that, frankly, some companies don't have good quality. Even though people say they do. And when I pick them up, and I'm not going to dog them on the podcast, I'm just not going to say something negative about a company specifically because it's going to be problems. Well, I might say something, but some of them just, they don't feel like, even, okay, here, where's the silencer? I'm looking around my desk. Oh, okay. Here's an OSS. OSS is sitting right on my desk here. I picked up these OSS silencers. They're nice. Like, what is this? Oh, this is the 762. This is the HXQD. Okay, this is the one I tested. Or rather, this is the one that I released data for a couple months ago for you. It's heavy. It's steel. This is the steel one. There's a titanium one too. It's a completely different silencer than the Helios is. It's a completely different silencer than pretty much any silencer, but it's like, it feels high quality. It looks high quality. It exudes quality. Is it the best silencer? No. I'm telling you, some silencers just exude quality. So that, like, when I just want you to know what I'm talking about. Like, the parts fit together well. The mount fits together well. So that's what I feel with the Helios. When they went from Inconel to titanium, honestly, I was shocked when I saw it. I was like, whoa, like, what is this? And then I was like, oh, wow, okay. And there were little touches that Josh did that changed it, and I thought it was cool. And so I think it's pretty high quality, and I think that there's no reason for me to think anything that's coming out of that shop is going to be different, because it's design that's quality, dude. It's a design. It's like a method that he's doing. Like, it's just his eye. The way his attention to detail, it is high, and so it's just really, it's exuding quality, and the manufacturing is able to deal with it because it's so advanced. So I think that's cool. I think there might be some aliens involved. That's fine. Yeah, I think as long as we don't make them mad. And then the mounting. For me, it's like that. It's that one wish. It's fine for me because I leave it on the gun with the direct thread. I crank it on with either a strap wrench or my hand. I just crank it really hard with my hand, or just like give a strap wrench a little tug, just in a total unit, just to tighten the mount. And because the direct thread mount has a taper to the silencer. So if you took a strap wrench and you tighten on your barrel, that thing's not coming off the mount, and it's not coming off the barrel. It's not coming off, dude. I've done multiple mag dump cycles. It does not loosen. Okay, it's fine. Depends on your barrel and if your threads are good, but it's awesome. And your shoulder, 90-degree shoulder, everything. This is where a dual case could actually be made for buying two of these silencers, like I talked about earlier, because I could just leave this on the fix with that taper whatchamacallit, Liberty Precision Machine taper adapter that it's in the picture. You can see Liberty. No, it's not Liberty suppressors. There's a guy named Dave who makes silencers, Liberty suppressors. I have one of his silencers. Shout out to Dave. But Liberty Precision Machine, which is a different company who sent me those adapters, his is on the fix. I would probably just leave this one on the fix, and then I would just leave another one on the 11.5 556, because the direct thread mount changes with each, right? Because one's half 28, one's 5/8 24. See, because I use the AR more than the fix, because the fix is for hunting. So that's why I leave it on the AR upper. It's like, because right now what sits in the safe, like my fix, it has a Hyperion K on it in the safe, because that's what I used to kill the deer. When my woman and I, when we murdered the whitetail this past season, we both used a fix, and we used the Hyperion K. So yeah, three large whitetail deer have been murdered with the Hyperion K on the fix. So yeah. So until I get two Helios QDs, they're titanium with taper mounts, then I'll just swap this between the two guns. So yeah. So this silencer, it's going to suppress supersonic cartridges very well at a short barrels. Okay, the CGS Hyperion technology in the Helios, I'm telling you, it handles pressure very well. Now, the Nomad Tech, I should say, the Nomad Tech and the CGS Tech can really take a lot of high pressure. The reason a Nomad TI or a Nomad 30 is not as attractive to me for these two guns is because, for one, they're not as quiet on supers as the Helios QD is. Okay, they're close. They're close, but they don't quite get it. They don't quite get there. The Nomad 30 is heavier, and the Nomad TI is just not as durable to use on like 11.5 inch machine gun. Are you kidding me? Like, I'm not going to put a Nomad TI on 11.5 inch machine gun, dude. No, I've seen them blow up, and I know this would break it. I'd have to use a Plan B to shield it, and the wall thickness is too thick. I think too thin. The wall thickness is too thin on the Nomad TI. I think it's too thin, and I don't know that. Because it's supposed to be light, so I don't know that getting it really hot and just saying a little prayer is going to be great. And I don't think the Dead Air likes that. I don't think they want you to do that. Okay, so I don't have that on that gun. Could I put it on the fix? I could definitely put the Nomad TI on the fix, but I have accuracy concerns. Okay, are they unfounded? I don't know. I have not tested the accuracy myself, but so many people have told me that their Nomad TI makes the groups open up. And I don't know why exactly that is. And I don't know if it's the blast baffle. I don't know if there's some kind of weird exit turbulence. I don't know, dude. I'd be interested if you, like, I've already had some really, really trusted PEW Science members reach out to me and talk to me about it. If you haven't talked to me about it and you have that issue, can you reach out to me, tech@pewscience.com? And if you have, can you reach out to me again and talk to me more about it and see if maybe you've noticed some changes, or you can confirm it still is a problem on your guns? I would like to know more, but I really want to know, because it's a pretty attractive hunting silencer due to the weight and the sound reduction. So, but the topic of this episode, or this topic, is not about that. This topic is about a dual use silencer, and that, I think, the Nomad TI is not. I think the Helios QD TI is, because it's a true short barrel 5.56 silencer that is just as at home on your hunting rifle. Okay. And so, yeah, so this is 2 use cases: full auto 5.56, multi-use short barrel AR, hunting rifle in 308 or 6.5 if I change the barrel. I keep saying I'm going to do it. I need to. 2 use cases. Okay. Frankly, a lot of people overlap these use cases all the time. And how many times have you heard people say, I just get a 30 caliber silencer because they're better on 5.56 anyway? Well, that can be true or not be true. But the Helios is a 5.56 silencer. It just happens to be able to do 30 caliber. So in that case, I'm using a 5.56 silencer on my 308 hunting rifle. I know it makes no sense. But then again, nothing CGS does makes any sense to anyone in the industry, except for the people who understand silencers. Okay? CGS is doing stuff. They don't care is the problem. It's not a problem, but like it might be a problem. They don't care. They're just like, we're just going to make this. And everyone's like, what in the actual? And it's working. And like, I don't think people know what to do. And that's the cool. This is such, like, I'm so excited for you guys because I'm excited for me. I'm excited to be in this position right now because we are witnessing ridiculous technology that doesn't make sense. Like, no one puts this much thought into stuff anymore. And you see it and you're like, what is that? You're like, why are they even doing that? It makes no sense. It's great. I love it. Okay. So the silencer industry may be growing, but the silencer talk legacy lives on. It does. But not in the ways that some people think. Okay, trust me. Some of us never left. It's a growing industry. But there's always been a cult. And the cult is still here. And no matter what, there's people in that cult pushing limits. There's a quiet war brewing. I can assure you. It's between designers that care. We'll see which battles are fought, which battles are won, which battles are lost. I think the war is going to be long. I think there's battles we don't know that are going to occur. Who knows? Like, we don't know what's going to happen. I think it's going to be a long war, and I welcome it. I do. And we have front row seats to greatness. I think we all do. So with that, I think that's the end of that topic. I know that went all over the place, but I really wanted to illustrate my thought process about one of the silencers that I use, why I use it, and why I like it. And like what compromises I made. What compromises I didn't make. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Okay, and this was not a commercial. I just realized it might have sounded like a commercial for like a CGS silencer, but hey, I use it on my gun, so I mean, it's like I don't know what you want me to say. What? There's not another silencer on the gun. Sometimes I put the Surefire 5.56 RC2. I put that on the Mark 18 because I like the way it looks, frankly, and I'm too lazy to take off the 3-prong. Because I've been busy and I didn't get my wrench out because I kind of torqued it on there because I wanted to align it and make it look pretty for a picture. So like honestly, like I haven't even shot the Mark 18 with some of these other silencers yet, which I'm going to. I have a test program coming up that's going to be pretty awesome. So yeah, but anyway, Mark 18 is a Mark 18. Okay, topic 2 at a time of, oh my God, 1 hour. Let's see, 1 hour, 33 minutes. And 54 seconds. Oh my God. That's a long time on that topic. Wow. Okay. Topic 2, new sound signature review coming this week. Are you ready? Do you have any guesses? Ah, boy, howdy. I tell you what. I already done a lot of analysis. I'm writing it right now. I'm in the middle of it. I am. And tell you what, I think it's pretty popular. I think it's a popular silencer. I think your folks are going to be happy to have the data. I like when I'm able to do things like that for you guys. I do. I like to give you, what's a good way to say this? I like to give a wide audience stuff. Sometimes it's not my favorite silencer or even something I would use, but it's something I know is in use for a lot of people in general. A lot of people use it. So it'll be worth, I think it'll at least be worth it for all those people. I tend to look at publications in terms of utility. So, data utility. So what are we going to learn from each publication? How does each publication contribute to Chapter 6? Section 6 of the Silencer Sound Standard. Each review is a subsection in that main Section 6. It is. That's why I write it like that. And that is why they all stand on their own. But they do each offer utility because every silencer is different. And every silencer has a fingerprint on every host. And so for this review, perhaps the utility of this publication is the proliferation of the data. Perhaps it's a sacrificial lamb to a wide audience. A silencer who gave its life so that the word could spread. A martyr. No, that's getting bleak. No, it's not like, no, I'm not trying to say that the silencer didn't perform well or something. No, but you'll have to stay tuned this week. Buckle up, okay? Buckle up. I will say there is something disappointing that did happen with this review. I'm just going to I'm going to rip the Band-Aid. I'm going to rip the Band-Aid off now. Okay? I tested the silencer a while back. And of course, as luck would have it, I was informed today that the manufacturer made a change. And the configuration I tested is different than what's offered now. Awesome. However, I still think there are a lot in consumer hands. I think there are. And so this is almost like the Nomad situation, right? But this is like more so. So you'll see when I publish it. I have to make it clear in the article why. I'm going to do my best to illustrate exactly what changed, and so that we can all speculate like we love to do. But I mean, it is what it is. Like I have no control over this. Okay, so I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this one. Okay. Okay. Topic 3. We're going to get this done. Topic 3 at a time of 1 hour, 37 minutes, and 2 seconds. Okay, topic 3. Welcome to all the new PEW Science members, doctors, scientists, students, law enforcement officers, members of our armed forces, manufacturers, teachers. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, yeah, some of you are teachers. All family. Thank you all for your support. The PEW Science family. We're growing. Eventually, PEW Science is going to reach some kind of critical mass. It is. Right now, we are growing though, and I know I talked about merchandise, like the soft goods, like t-shirts, I did talk about that. It has not left my mind. It's just that there are a lot of pressing things that need to get done first. I will say though, members are going to get first dibs on the merchandise, so I will be sure to let you know when that's coming. Okay, I will let you know. So don't worry. You haven't missed it. I promise. And you know what? I did want to say the law enforcement and the military support is really cool, and so are the inquiries I get from you guys out in the field. Usually you'll DM me on Instagram. You'll ask me questions about your unit weapons, like whatever you're in, and your enhancements, changes you can make to make it work better. I get a lot of surefire questions because a lot of those are out in military hands and stuff. I get a lot of questions about how they can make their kit better, and I talked about their mounts and stuff, and they tell me about their war comp and things like that. I think that's cool. I really like helping you guys. I'm glad to help you, and I'm honored that you reach out to me for advice. I'm like, whoa, like really? You want my opinion? Okay, here you go. This is my opinion. It's backed by data, so I'm not going to steer you wrong. I'm trying not to. Several audiologists and physicians are members of PEW Science, which is cool. So shout out to you folks. A lot of you email me. But some of you may not listen to the podcast, so I don't know if you're going to hear this, but thank you. I do appreciate your interactions, and those folks, they're using their research to help with some of their fields, some of their patients, which isn't that cool? I think that's cool. So thanks to all of you. Another cool thing is that manufacturers are learning about Pew Science really easily now. Because every time a manufacturer posts something on social media about a silencer, someone from the Pew Science Army, okay, not only Pew Science members, but just Pew Science Army soldiers. I think there's like actually some special groups in the Pew Science Army, some secret squirrels. They're definitely dedicated. They're definitely organized. I think they have unit numbers. And no, dude, these guys are crazy. They're awesome. Like, I don't know. They move fast. Like, they're fast, dude. Like, these guys are not messing around. They're weaponized. Dedicated enthusiasts of silencer truth. You guys jump in and you encourage these manufacturers to pursue third-party testing with Pew Science. It's awesome. I see it. Dude, you tag me. I see it. Trust me. Every time you tag me, I see it. Trust me. If I don't respond, there's a reason. So don't shy away. Tag away, dude. Like, it is awesome. Like, I see it. It's welcome. It's encouraged. It's really great stuff you're doing. Continue that push. It's good to see consumers demand meaningful data. You deserve it. You do. You deserve nothing less. You're worth it. You are. Your ears, they're your dollars paying for the silencer. You deserve good data. You do. Okay? And with that, stay tuned this week for a new review. Stay safe. Load your magazines. And I will talk with you folks again soon. All right.